Hi, it's Xavier, and I'd like to welcome you to my bonsai calendar. This is going to be the first of a series that I'm going to run through January, looking at some of the key trees and bonsai that I have particular knowledge on, have worked on for several years, and feel confident that I could give you some key dates that you want to keep in your diary. Otherwise known as, get ready for this, Metasequoia glyptostroboidus.
That's easy for you to say.
I think that sounds right. This prehistoric monster, or living fossil as they like to call it, was thought to be extinct until it was found in the wet lower slopes of Hunan province, China, and that was somewhere around 1941. The real difference between these and sequoia is height. They have a similar sort of bark, red bark and foliage. Now they are different from the coastal redwood because it's deciduous, but the pruning rules are completely different, so please do not mix these up. Pruning. The key thing to remember with Dawn Redwood, and this has got to be the big takeaway, is there's a 2-week period somewhere around about early June, which is in the early summer, when these fronds go into a ruby red colour. When they go ruby red colour, if they've got ramification and growing tips, you can cut and prune them. Anytime after, and the risk you face is that the new shoots are not going to have time to lignify before the autumnal leaf fall and branch drop. So that is a key point, and if you're not totally aware of that, please go back and have a look at one of the videos which is in the description, and you'll see that really clearly. But pencil in there, early summer, ready ruby brown, that's when you do your pruning. The other 2 times when I prune these, and it's more clearing up pruning and stuff like that, is early spring. This time I did it March 6th, and also in the late autumn, November the 12th. And that's the point when basically you can see what branches have survived, or which branch is going to be productive for the following year. My preference is to wire in the autumn because it gives chances for the branches to set, and I can have the wire off in the spring and not have to worry about the branches getting marked or scarred as they swell during the growing season. In terms of repotting, early spring is the best time as the buds start to open up. Soil wise, what I've discovered with these, if you look at the location that they actually thrive in, they like to be around wet or damp areas. It doesn't necessarily mean you want to have wet, moist soil, but I tend to sit these in a tray of water, or I keep them shaded. I normally keep them with a Fuji cherry actually, and I don't let them dry out particularly, but I've got them in actually quite a free draining soil mix. I tend to take the cuttings in the spring. I'll be taking off any of the branches that I decide I don't want. Something like this I may remove at the base, and that will become a cutting. I have a lot of success with the cuttings, and I've also taken the cuttings in the early summer when I do the pruning then, and again have success with those. I just tend to put a empty drink bottle upended in half over the top of a pot, and that gives the humidity. Air layers, they are known as a prehistoric plant. That means the circulatory system that it has and the physiology, I don't think lends itself to air layers. I've never done one. I'd be very interested in the comments if anyone has successfully air layered the Dawn Redwood. I'm definitely not saying you can't do it. I've got a funny feeling if you did, it may take a while for it to establish a root structure. Pests, I've had absolutely no pests with these at all, and I've probably jinxed myself for that, but no. The only thing I do say, make sure they do tend to get damp lower down. So around the sort of November time, make sure that you get the moss off the top of the soil, make sure that you clean all the bark up, get all the loose flaky bark off so you can see if there's any bugs there, and again use an overwintering spray once all the leaf growth has dropped. But do feed it spring when that new flush is coming out, and in the June once you've done that pruning after the ruby red. I know other people, if they've got younger nursery stuff, force feed it even more, but for me I found that once, twice a year is normally more than enough for me. And just to put this into context worldwide, I'm in Grantham in the UK, that's zone 9B. Winter lows on average are 2 degrees Celsius, 35 Fahrenheit, but you know, can quite easily over sort of 3 or 4 days drop to -5, -6, which is 21 Fahrenheit. It's not extreme, that's for sure, and which is why we can really keep most of these out. And the only deciding factor about winter storage is how shallow the pot is, to be fair. If you're in a nice deep pot, just bunk it down with a load of other trees. Make sure there's a windbreak, because one thing Grantham does have, loads of wind. And wind can cause all sorts of damage in the winter and through most of the year actually. I mean, the highest temperatures we will record is normally up around the sort of 29, 30. We might have the odd day that shoots up higher than that, but we won't have that for any other extended period longer than about 4 or 5, well no, 3 or 4 days. So again, extreme heat isn't an issue here. And I suppose the only other thing that you consider with this area is we have a little bit higher than average rainfall, which for these is brilliant. If I was going to tell you anything that's the biggest single factor for these, wind. So if you're in a windy area, bear that in mind, because these thin fronds will give out that moisture very, very quickly and crisp off. And there's nothing worse than a crisped off Dawn Redwood. Anyway, from Xavier, with his first ever bonsai calendar. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if there's something more you would like about this, and I'll see what I can do. Again, I'll stress this is only going to be trees that I have personal experience of, so can have a little bit of credibility is probably the word I'd use. If you like this, hit like. If you feel someone else could benefit, then please share it on social media. And if you haven't subscribed, why not? I'm really good. I'm quite funny too, although I wasn't very funny today. In fact, some of my trees are funnier than me. So hit subscribe, bell notifications, because I'll let you know through the community posts what other stuff might be coming up. And again, I'm going to start using that in 2024, giving you sort of a 2-week notice of when I'm going to start doing work. Because as you know, some of these videos don't come out on time and don't help you as much as they should. So from Xavier, hopefully you got something out of this. All the best. Happy bonsai and God bless. Cheers.